A squared plus B squared, is it equaling C squared? I don't know, you know, is X plus Y, what's that formula? I can't even remember the XY formula. Can you believe that? The most basic algebraic, Jesus Christ. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to Grayscale. It's me and Akara. What's good? What's happening? What's poppin', everybody? I'm making another video because why not? I feel good. I feel like it. So yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just jazzed up today. I'm actually jazzed up for once. I feel so good. Self-confidence on peak. Body image on a high. Like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling myself, and it's so fun. Like I love that for me. So perps. Like I wanna talk about a couple of things today. I really don't know. I really have literally no thoughts. Really have literally no thoughts. That's the best way I could have said that. I have no lines of thought, no trains of thought, no fucking boats of thought. I don't know. I have no. It's not. One thing is not leading to another thing. You know what I mean? A squared plus B squared, is it equaling C squared? I don't know. You know, the most basic algebraic formula that comes to my hold on, it's the slope one. What the fuck is the slope one? Mx equals b, y plus, girl, oh my god. Wow. Anyway. I'm not gonna let math ruin my self-confidence. I'm not gonna let that happen, okay? It's not my fault I fucking suck at it now. It's not my fault, okay? It's society. Blame them. Anyway, yeah, I have a couple things I want to talk about. I'm having a hard time being okay with the fact that I don't really know what I want to say and how I want to say it, and kind of just like trusting that I'm going to get there. I'm having a hard time trusting the process with my own with my own feelings and with the thoughts that I have about these two or few topics that I want to talk about. So anyway, yeah, before I get into that, just want to talk about how good I feel right now and keeping that flame alive, that fire going, because it's a good day today. It's actually been a really good week so far. I cannot tell you the last time I've had 6 consecutive days back to back to back to back to back that have actually left me feeling like life is good. I'm so glad to be alive. I've literally not had an entire week where I felt this good in such a long time. I don't know. I'm just so blessed, and I feel so grateful to have this opportunity, this miracle come to life, because I feel really good, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So, and did not need weed for it. So let's go, baby. Still keeping that streak of not smoking any weed. It's not like I'm like craving it or missing out on it or anything. I'm literally like good, you know? And I even ask myself sometimes, like, oh, you know, I have a free day or I have some time. Do I want to smoke up? Do I want to smoke a joint right now? I'm good, dude. I don't feel like I need it, want it, or anything. And that feels like a miracle, really. It feels like a blessing to just feel alive and feel good and live my life and be sober and not feel like I hate every second of it or like I'm wishing it away. Like, I feel good. And that's not to say that this week has not come without its challenges, or that, you know, I haven't had sad moments, because girl, there were a couple sad moments this week, you know? Like, speaking of which, like, I went to a Mets game just like two days ago. It wasn't like the most fun I've had at a baseball game this year, you know? I don't know if that was because of the emotionality that I was experiencing, or just because I literally I didn't even want to go see the Mets win, to be honest with you, which is like, it's whatever, you know what I mean? It's whatever. I used to be like a Mets fan, right? But they were playing kind of trashy in the beginning of the season, and I was like, oh, not feeling that, tired of that. And then, you know, hold on, am I gonna go on a baseball tangent? I'm gonna go on a baseball tangent just for like 5 minutes, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so like, I didn't really like the Yankees because like they just felt so overrated to me. I don't like it when in any like group thing, sports or art or music or whatever, like if something is like overhyped and overrated, I'm like not 9 out of 10 times I'm not gonna rock with it just because I just don't, you know what I mean? And it's not like the Yankees aren't good, weren't good, haven't been good. It's just like they just felt so overhyped. So I was like, I'm not fucking with that, you know? And I kind of like that the Mets to me had like a very underdog type feel, or like, you know, coming back from the grave type beat. I don't know. But it was kind of stale for me at the beginning of the season. And so I was like, I'm kind of cool off that. And then because the Yankees, if y'all watch baseball, y'all know the lore, whatever, they got Juan Soto, and Juan Soto is so good for the Yankees. Girl, I've been watching them all season long, and he has made me a Yankees fan, okay? He has. And once he gets let go, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think so. But once they let him go, I don't know what happens. They have Jazz Chisholm Jr. on there, which I love. I loved him. I used to watch him on the Marlins. So I'm so glad that he is up with the big boys. He's up in the big clubs, and he's now playing for the Yankees. Like, good on him for that. But I don't know if I'll watch it as much, or if I'll root for them, if I'll like them. You know what I mean? For this season, like, it gave me a little turnaround. I was like, Mets, Yankees. So that's how I've been feeling. So when I went to the Mets game, I wasn't really like against them or anything, but they were playing the Phillies, and if you know baseball this season, the Phillies are rocking with it, dog. And I really just wanted the Phillies to win, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't, and that's okay. That's fine. I still love going to the games. I love getting to watch baseball games in person. I think it's a much better experience than just watching it on TV or something. I love it. It's just so much fun. And it gets me out of the house. I get to take the subway. I get to take the train. It's so much fun. I love doing that. So I'm a little sad that the season's over and I won't have any more games to go to. I'm going to go watch the Yankees one last time before the season ends because I love watching them. And yeah, it's going to be the last regular home game with Juan Soto on the Yankees team. What the fuck? Damn. I'm going to miss that guy. Fucking love him. This I don't know if this is related to what I want to talk about. We're gonna let it happen. I think there's a connection. My brain is probably piecing it together way before I can see it. You know what I'm saying? It's for seeing some shit. So we're gonna let that cook up there. But no, I was I don't know. Sometimes when I go to the games, right? Because it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, just the vibe is like I'm out and about. I'm in the city. And I feel like having me a drink or two. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big drinker. Because I hate the way alcohol tastes. I hate it. I hate it so bad. If I can taste alcohol in the drink, girl, you best believe that shit is not going down. I hate it so much. So, like, I'm not a big drinker. I don't like drinking that much. But I do still enjoy buying drinks and having drinks occasionally because I like mixology and bartending. And so going out, like if I can order like, you know, specialty drinks, like cocktails and stuff, like I love doing that because I love the artistry behind making a drink and just having its own little story and the way that the spirit pairs with like other fruits and flavors. I don't know, I love that so much. So I enjoy getting to order myself a drink every once in a while, and I try to go and, you know, try new things when I'm out. And so, you know, when I'm at the game, sometimes the vibe is like, oh, I want to drink a little bit. Like I just want to feel a little tipsy. Like it's fun, you know, just to get a little jazzed up in the stands. So I did that. You know, I had me I think it's called a Bases Loaded lemonade. It's like a specialty drink of theirs. Is it a specialty drink? I don't know. It was sort of special. I don't know. But that was really good. It was really good. I got mine with tequila in it. It was a blackberry lemonade with tequila. It was a double shot of tequila. So it was good. I was feeling it. You know what I'm saying? When I drank it. And the thing is, girl, if it wasn't, because I was sitting, I think, in the 500 seats. Because I love getting to sit up top, up high. You know, I don't mind that shit. Especially because those are like the cheaper-ish seats anyway. Like, I'm not going to spend $100 on every game I go to. That's ridiculous. But I don't mind it. I like sitting up in the high stands and in the promenades or fucking grandstand seats, whatever they like to call them in each stadium. That reminded me of Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium was an elite feeling. Oh my God. That was the first ever Major League Baseball stadium I ever went to. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad I went to it because it was so much fun. Oh, I loved it. Sorry. Just a little flashback. I love Dodger Stadium. I love the Dodgers. That's my favorite team. I love them. Anyway. Anyway, girl. But anyway, I had me a little drink, right? And it was good. I wanted another one, but I really didn't want to go down 3 or 4 floors just to get another one. You know what I'm saying? And they have some fuck ass rules where you can't order food from different levels unless your fucking ticket shows that you can go through. That shit pissed me off. I don't like that rule. And that's always at Citi Field. I don't know if they do that at Yankee Stadium because I don't think I've ordered. Do they have food on the I would assume so. I haven't ordered food from many of the different levels. If Yankee Stadium does the same thing, I'm gonna be a little pissed because I don't like that. It gives classist. I don't like that shit. It's weird. I don't like it. Anyway, though, I didn't want to go down a few flights just to get another drink. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just hit up another bar. I'm gonna see what other drinks they have and keep it with the same type of liquor, same type of spirit, because I learned a couple months ago this year that I don't like mixing my drinks or mixing my spirits like that. And I think that's like a general rule that people say when you're drinking alcohols. You shouldn't really, mix the type of alcohol you're drinking with other stuff. You shouldn't have like wine and then like fucking start chugging vodka or something. Like it's not, it isn't, it's like not good. But maybe some people handle it better and they're like okay with that. But for me, I learned it's not good for me because when I went to, oh my God, I went to this concert by one of my favorite artists ever. I love him so much. I'll talk about that at a later date. I don't wanna, you know what I mean? But I went there overnight. I stayed in a hotel. It was so good. I loved it. It was so much fun for me. It was the first time I went out this year. It was so much fun. But because it was my first time out in the city, I was like, oh my God, big girl in the Big Apple. Like, sorry. I got a little too excited. And I had like a drink with vodka in it. I had a drink with tequila in it. And I think I even had a drink with gin in it. And I thought, okay, as long as I stick to the clear spirits, I should be okay. It's not good because by my third drink, girl, the whole room was spinning, dog. It was spinning. And I actually was like, this is no fun. I drank that much because it was my first time in the city and I wanted to have fun before I went to the concert. But I felt so uncomfortable when I would like just sit up and it was just too much. So I learned from then on, girl, I am not going to mix my drinks like that. So this time I was like, okay, we had tequila, we're sticking with tequila. I ordered another drink and I didn't like it at all. Why, you might ask? Because I could taste the fucking liquor in it. Oh my God. I could taste the tequila. It was so nasty. It was just gross, dog. Disgusting. And it like bummed me out because I paid literally like I paid like $30 for that. I paid $30 for that drink. And it was no good. And I couldn't even feel jazzed up, because I pissed out the lemonade the first time. So it was it was a waste of time. But anyway, all that to say, like, my intuition was low-key like, girl, like, you don't really need to buy this other drink, you know what I mean? Like, I know you want another drink. If you really want one, go get a lemonade, you know what I'm saying? But don't buy this drink. Like, you're not gonna like it. It's not gonna be good. You're not gonna drink it. Don't worry about it. But, sometimes it's not about, like, bypassing my intuition and not trying to listen to it. It's sometimes, like, I don't want to fall into this, like, spiritual psychosis pit where I'm like, I never do anything or try anything new because I'm always afraid of certain things like that. You know what I mean? It's like a fine line of trying to understand that there's a balance to these things and, like, you know what I mean? Like, my intuition is just, like, letting me know. And that's what I figured it was doing. I just thought, like, it's a drink. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna think it's the end of the world if I buy this drink and I don't like it. Like, to me, it wasn't a big deal. And it really wasn't. Like, even though I didn't like it and I was really bummed about it that I didn't have another good drink to drink. But I wasn't, like, mad about it. You know what I mean? It was just, like, I don't want to say, like, a red flag. It was like a little red dot. like a little red laser dot, like the ones that you shine for cats to play with. Like that's it, like popped up, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just like letting you know this is what's up. And so like I had it, whatever. I was watching the game, Mets kept scoring. I was like, good for them. Good for them. Phillies didn't win this one. It's okay. It's all right. Good for them. Game ends at around like 9:50 something. I decided I'm gonna go piss before I catch the subway because it's like 35 minutes back to Penn Station. And then I forgot that before I wanted to leave the stadium, or before I got on the subway, I wanted to like look up the directions to remember which subway to take so that I could get to Penn Station and then catch my train and go home. Forgot to do that. And then I ended up getting on the wrong subway back home. Instead of taking the Express 7 train, I took the local 7 train, which fucked up the timing for me a little bit because the train that I was supposed to take to come home left at 10:56, and the duration and the duration of the train ride from the stadium to Penn Station was like really close. You know what I mean? I would have like maybe 5 or 6 minutes to try to catch the train home. So that was like giving me a bit of anxiety because in my head, I'd already planned out that I was going to take the subway to Penn Station and then take the 10:56 train back home because it was going to, be a couple hours before I would get to the train station and then to drive from the train station to go home. So it was like, I really just want to make this 10:56 train so that I don't have to be home super, super late. I can go home. It's been a long day. I'm a little tired. Like, I just want to get home on time. The thing was, though, because I like horrible spatial awareness, not being able to be good with recognizing places, because that is so hard for me. When I go into the city, and especially the more tired I am, the harder this is for me. I can look at buildings and like roads and streets and be like, okay, I may have been here before, but I can't tell you for sure if this is the same street I took to get to the place that I was at. And I don't know if I should take this to go back. And that happens a lot, especially when I'm walking in the city trying to catch the subways, to get around. I get so confused. I'm like, I don't know if this is the right one. You know what I mean? And so even though like I pull up the map directions on my phone, it's sometimes really hard because of like fucking connectivity issues, Wi-Fi, and 5G wants to act up. So it's hard to like get directions going. You know what I mean? So even though I remembered what subway stations I like got on at and got on. So even though I remember what subway stations I got off at and which trains I took wherever, you know what I mean? I was confused about how to get back to Penn Station, especially within the allotted time frame, because like I said, I really only had a 6 to 7 minute window of getting to Penn Station and then getting to my train. And when things start to look familiar, I start to get confused about what directions and where I need to go. Like that puts a lot of stress and pressure on me. And so I was getting really like not anxious or worried, but I was getting frustrated that like I just couldn't understand how to take the subway or how to get back to literally the Penn Station. And that was stressing me out because I was like, I don't know why I can't just figure out how to get back. And so in the moment I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do my best. Like I'll figure it out. Like I took the E train before I got on the 7 train. Like I can just get off at a subway station that I can take the E train at, and that'll, that should get me back to Penn Station. But girl, when you're down there trying to take them trains, oh, it is so confusing, at least to someone like me. I don't understand it sometimes. And so like I got off at like 74th Street, right? And I was like, I should be able to find the E train. I couldn't fucking find the E train. I was running around everywhere. Dehydrated, and my legs, oh my god, my legs had been hurting that day. I don't even know why. They were hurting so bad. I was climbing up the stairs a couple times and my literal pain in my legs. I was like, I don't know why this is happening to me. And so I was still running around with all that. My abdomen was hurting so bad. And I've been having abdominal issues for a couple of years now. So it was a lot. It was a lot of stress I was putting myself under. And I was like, everything's going to be okay. Like, even though I'm a little lost and I don't know where I'm going and I'm trying really hard, it's going to be fine. I can make the 10:56 train. I I didn't make the 10:56 train. And I was really upset because it was literally like a 10-minute difference. And I was like, if only I'd known more, known better, I could have done better. I could have gotten on this train. I could have gotten off here. I could have made the train, whatever. And I knew that as it wasn't working out, right, that it was okay because, like, it wasn't the end of the world. I knew there were still trains I could take to get home, that I was technically still okay with getting home at a little later time than I'd originally planned to. Like, it just happens sometimes, right? But for some reason, I was really upset that I just could not make the train. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was literally like a 5 to 10 minute difference. And I just kept beating myself up. Like, why didn't I just get that 10 minutes right? Why did I not account for that? Why didn't I plan for that? Like, if only I hadn't used the bathroom before I left the stadium, I would have had more time. Or if I hadn't gotten off at this subway station, I could have had more time. Or I could have, if I just, like, kept following the signs and, like, tried harder. I don't know. I thought like I could have made it for some reason, and I was really mad that I couldn't bring it together. And so I knew again that it was fine. It wasn't the end of the world. It was okay if I took a different train. But for whatever reason, I was really upset about it, and it was like this weird feeling of trying to understand why I was disappointed about this, and also trying to integrate the fact that I knew it was going to be okay and everything was fine into that same space of thinking. And so what I realized in that moment was, like, sometimes I just get upset. That was really, it's like, to boil it down to a very simple statement, that's what I realized. That sometimes I get upset. Sometimes I plan things and I work things out, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it would be nice if I could, make the 10:56 train. Like, I'd get home a bit earlier. I go to sleep. Like, I'm in line with my sleep schedule. Like, I'm not going to be tired. I'm not going to be exhausted. Sometimes I am by default a planner, and I just like to plan things. And when it doesn't work out for me, I get upset. Like, I get mad, And instead of, like, beating myself up for that, because I've done that a lot before, I really worked hard to, like, let myself know it's okay, it's fine. I think what had really helped was the circumstances. Like, I knew that if I had prior engagements that I had committed to literally the day after, and I didn't feel like I had enough time to account for getting home and getting a good night's rest and dealing with whatever I had to deal with tomorrow before those types of engagements, that would have stressed me out a lot more and made me a bit harder on myself. So the fact that my schedule was cleared and, like, I didn't have anything to worry about, I think was really helpful. And that's part of the reason why I was really accepting of the fact that it was okay that I'd missed the train and that I'd gotten it wrong and I'd gotten a bit lost in the process. But yeah, I got upset, And instead of beating myself up for it, I let myself feel upset. Even though on a certain level I knew that it wasn't a big deal to get upset about it, or like it wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, I was still rightfully emotional about it. And instead of, shaming myself for those emotions or trying to explain it away, I just let myself get upset. You know what I mean? And I let myself shed a few tears, and I was uncomfortable with that. Very, very minimally, but still a little bit uncomfortable with that. But I was like, I don't want to be uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? If I feel like crying, I'm gonna fucking cry. And so thank God I was wearing my Mets cap, because they won after all. I had to sport them. I don't know. And they had Edwin Diaz come out, and he clinched the save. Good for him. I'm so proud of him. I love Edwin Diaz. Slay. Okay. So I had my Mets cap on, and I just bent my head and I cried on the subway, bitch. I did. That might be cringe to some of y'all. It's okay. I don't give a fuck. It was 11 o'clock at night. There were maybe like 7 other people on the train, and everybody was minding their business. So I just bent my head and I let them tears out if that had to come. It wasn't a lot. It was a couple, but I wasn't stopping my emotions. It was like, if I'm upset, if I'm sad, I'm going to let this ride. I'm going to feel how I want to feel. And a big part of why I was upset was mainly because, like, I didn't know what I was going to do in Penn Station. Like the next train home was a literal hour after the one that I was supposed to take, and I just didn't know what I was going to do in Penn Station for an hour, which is not to say that there's nothing to do. I just figured that like everything was going to be closed and I was just going to be sitting in the middle of nowhere, like just waiting for the train to come, which is also like sort of bizarre, right? Because in my head, New York, city of dreams, city that never sleeps, right? So by that logic, things should be open, hustling, bustling, and there were so many people around. There were still so many people at 11 o'clock on a Thursday night. So that like makes sense to me, but I was like, I really don't know if anything's gonna be open in this climate. I don't think there's gonna be anywhere for me to like sit. Are there third spaces I can actually be a part of while I wait for this train? I don't know. Like for whatever reason, like that made me really sad and really emotional to like have that hour of time with nothing to do, to sit in the middle of Penn Station with all these strangers around, and it just made me so uncomfortable. And that was, I think, the biggest reason why I didn't want to miss the train and going home. I didn't want to have anything to do. I just didn't want to be there for an hour, you know. But luckily, my favorite little Japanese to go takeout food joint was open, and I got to go inside, and I was like, girl, I'm dehydrated. All that running and that beautiful lemonade I had, and the fact that I hadn't drank a lot of water that day, because I don't like having to drink a lot of liquids when I'm going out, because I one thing I'm gonna have to do is piss, and if there's not a clean bathroom and I have to hold my piss, it's gonna be a miserable day. But I usually go to, like, you know, when I'm going to the stadiums, I piss. So I pissed a good few times. But, like, for whatever reason, my body is not able to... Water retention is not a thing with my body. So I'm dehydrated more times than you can count. So I was dehydrated. I was sweating like mad that day. I was running around. And I was like, girl, I need something salty. Something salty would lift my spirits right now. And you know what I saw? Miso soup. My first time I ever had it. But I was like, this is going to hit. This is going to make me feel so much better. And yes, girl, yes, it did. It was so good. Perfect amount of sodium in there for me. And I sat there and I just sipped on my little miso soup. And I waited for the train. And I actually felt so glad, because I was thinking it wasn't going to be open. But it was. God let that miracle happen for me. And it was. The universe was like, here you go, girl. Here you go. You're doing a good job. You're not beating up on yourself. Here's a little gift for you. And I just enjoyed my soup. I waited for my train. And I just let myself feel those emotions. You know, I was still a little bit upset. I was still a little bit hurt, you know, that it didn't really work out the way I'd wanted to, even though I'd tried really hard and, like, you know, whatever. Like, I wasn't trying to beat up on myself for feeling those emotions. I just let that happen for me. And so, ducked my head a little bit. I cried in the little joint. And I didn't even feel bad. I still don't feel bad. I don't feel any shame. I had to let it out. I had to release some emotions, and I did. And it helped me feel good. And so then I caught the train at midnight. I didn't put in my earphones or anything. I didn't want to listen to any music. I didn't want any distractions. I just wanted to be with myself, because intuitively I knew that, like, I was feeling some emotions that were hard for me to identify, but I wanted to give them space. And so I had time on the train. You know, I was getting home a little later than I thought I was, but I was like, it's okay. Like, this is making space for me and my emotions. And so at some point, I just started full on crying on the train, girl. By myself. I wasn't bothering nobody. I ain't make a whole scene. Like, nobody, I don't think anybody really noticed. Even if they did, that's not my problem, girl. But I let it out for myself, and it was good for me. And I felt so much better. And what the catalyst of that was knowing that everything was going to be okay. And I wasn't beating up on myself, and I wasn't shaming myself for any of the feelings that I felt, you know? And I think that's like the one thing I'm trying to, like, talk about here, is that, like, I know that, like, it might seem like that wasn't a big deal, or, like, it wasn't something to cry about or to get emotional about, you know? Like, it wasn't, again, like, it wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, right? But it's just that, like, I feel like I've been in so many different situations where I've experienced these types of emotions, and I've been with people who have said those types of things like, oh, it's not a big deal, you don't have to cry about it, you don't have to feel that way. And it just made me feel so invalidated and shamed for how I felt, even if it was irrational, illogical, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, holding space for myself, even in moments where it might not have been the worst thing, felt so much better to me than denying how I felt and trying to push it away. And the fact that I let it happen, I sat with myself and I felt what I needed to feel. It was so much relief. It was so much relief I can't even it was so much relief I can't even fully describe it to you. Like, it was exactly the type of relief that I was looking for a good few weeks now, you know? And that was just like one experience out of the last couple of days that made me feel that way. Honestly, if I hadn't had those previous experiences, I probably wouldn't have had such a good experience that night at the stadium and that night on the train. But it was moments like that, you know what I mean, where I was following my intuition, but I wasn't like adhering to it like it was a golden standard, like it was the rule I had to hit and never stray from, you know what I mean? I was allowing myself to be curious, to experiment, to allow new and different possibilities to play in, and I was allowing myself to be vulnerable with myself, with my own emotions, giving myself time and space to feel what I needed to feel and heal what I needed to heal. And because I had done that a couple different times during the week before that night, and I'd realized different things, I had many different epiphanies, like, it was just so nice to just be on the train, let it out, and not feel bad for any of it. Not feel like I had to be met with a, it's not a big deal, or why are you overreacting, or why do you feel this way? Like, you can literally just catch another train. Like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, like, I know those are facts. I know those are things that can happen. That's fine. But sometimes I just want to feel the emotion anyway. Sometimes there's a childlike whim that wants to be expressive. Like, I still feel upset anyway. I still feel mad and bad and sad and hurt over it anyway. And so I think getting to do that and just like letting my heart express itself in that way really is what like made it clearer for me, made it better for me. Because I'm 100% positive that if I had held it in and like try to talk myself down and like explain everything away, I definitely would have like harbored some resentment somewhere inside me, you know? For what was a seemingly small situation, I definitely would have harbored some resentment toward that, and I would have felt like I just couldn't be myself and I couldn't feel my emotions even with me, even for the smallest and littlest of disappointments. And I'm just so glad that I didn't do that, and I didn't default to the way that other people have spoken to me my entire life, and I just listened to myself and let myself be, you know? And so intuition is like it's a fine line. It's a delicate balance of knowing yourself and listening to yourself, but also not being afraid to take chances or to do things differently, or even to just stray from the plan a little bit. So I'm just really proud of myself that I listened to myself, and that every step of the way, even if I failed or I didn't do it right, or it didn't get what I wanted and it didn't work out the way I thought it would, that I still just let myself express how I felt, and I held space for what needed to be held space for. That's not what I wanted to make this video about, but we're gonna keep chatting. We're gonna keep talking. A couple of my videos have been an hour long lately, and I love it. I love getting to just chat on here for an hour with you guys. You guys watch it or not, that's okay, girl. I love getting to do it for me. Yeah. Y'all like my setup? I love my setup. I think this is gonna be my default podcast setup for a while. I just love it. You know, I love my bright, beautiful colors. I got my pink and orange. I think she looks beautiful. I love pairing a pink and or orange with a beautiful green. I love that. So I love these two little things. And plus, like, I feel like this is a very retro type of feeling with the checkerboard pattern on my throw blanket, as well as this flower accent table. What do they call these? Accent table. Flower like bedside table, my little accent table. I forget what they call them. Girl, I always forget what they call everything. We also got some more checkerboard here with my little planter that I use as a little holder for some of my things. I don't know if I love the yoga mat over here, but I don't know where else to put her right now, so she's just gonna rock with it. That's my weed drawer that I haven't touched in a good few weeks. my little lamp that I like to use when I'm watching my television, when I'm watching my telly, and a beautiful painting that my sister painted for my birthday like 2 years ago, I think. Um, that's there that you'll see sometimes. And of course, my pink and orange little fluffy pillow here. I have Clemmy sitting on my new I forgot. I was gonna say desk chair. I don't know if there's a difference, but my sitting on my chair, my little work chair, my little desk chair, or whatever y'all call those. I don't know. Probably just a chair. I don't know why I'm making it more complicated. But yeah, I love my little setup. I love it. Looks cute. I'm wearing this royal blue. I'm wearing blue today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cute. I'm feeling lovely. And now I remember why I brought up that story. Because I wanted to talk about why I was feeling jazzed up. I actually don't remember how I connected those two dots in the beginning, but that's okay. Because what I wanted to say is that I've been feeling good, I think, this last week. And I want you all to know, I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor. This is not to say I know everything and I have the end all be all cure for depression, anxiety, mental illnesses. Okay, I want y'all to know that is not the case whatsoever. I know it's different for everybody. You need to decide what works best for you. But if you are looking for something new, something different to help you, and you experience a lot of trouble, a lot of struggle, a lot of strife with mental health disorders, you get depressed a lot, you get anxious a lot, things like that, vitamin D, so good for you. So good for you. I cannot tell you how good I feel. I want to say I'm 89% sure that it's due to taking vitamin D. I've known that for some time. I remember I was maybe 18 or 19 years old when I was like going to the doctors regularly. And I was like, getting my physicals, getting my checkups done. A whole other story for why I don't do that anymore and why I haven't been keeping up with that. That's different. And if you feel like that's relevant and you want to discard my advice because of that, totally cool. I understand. Like, you do you. But I'm bringing this up to say that, like, I went to a licensed professional and I was getting some blood work done, and she told me that my vitamin D levels were sufficiently low. I was deficient in vitamin D. And so at the time she was prescribing me vitamin D to take, I don't know if I'd been keeping up regularly with it then or not, but I remember that she had told me like vitamin D and not having enough of it in your body like can be part of the reason of why I might be feeling depressed or anxious and stuff like that. And so now, like years later, after like actually trying to take care of myself and going this sort of health, wellness, maintaining my diet, beneficial nutrition type of journey, that I was like, okay, she's probably, she's probably not wrong. She has a medical degree and everything, but she's probably not wrong. Like, I should take more vitamin D. And so it took me a little bit of time to get there, but I started taking vitamin D regularly. And I was like, I don't know if this is doing very much for me. And I'll tell you why that I thought that. Because I wasn't taking enough. When she was prescribing me vitamin D, she told me to take at least 50,000 IU. 50,000 IU. And I had not been taking 50,000 IU for quite some time. And just this week, I was like, I'm going to start taking 50,000 IU of vitamin D every single day again. And this week has been fucking miraculous. It's been amazing. I was only taking up to like 30,000 IU before that, and that's because of something I don't really want to delve too deep into this video in, because I feel like things are getting long-winded. But trying to keep a long story short, I have a lot of difficulty with I have had, I should say, a lot of difficulty with this abundance type belief. I've believed for a long time, or been stuck in this belief of this lack mindset, this poverty mindset. And so I always felt like I could not spend money on certain things, you know what I mean? And even though I knew vitamin D was something I wanted to take and I wanted to take it for my health, I felt like I had to be very frugal with that and that I could not really splurge and spend money on that because vitamin D is expensive. You know what I mean? It's like $25. And I used to feel really bad. I was like, I don't know if I should be spending that much. I feel really bad that I can't just make do with 30,000 IU and that I'm not feeling better. I can't tell you exactly what it was this week, but I was like, I am going to let go of that thought. I'm going to let go of that belief. I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to sacrifice on this anymore. 50,000 IU works. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to keep up with it. I think there is some merit to it. I'm going to keep up with it. I'm going to see how it goes. And since I have been taking 50,000 IU every day for the last week, this week has been miraculous. It has been amazing. Like I said, I've still been sad. There's still been some moments where I was worried or upset or a little anxious. But the amount of good feelings I've had this week, the amount of confidence, the amount of willpower, energy, of just general, like, life is good, I feel joy again, unmatched. And so if you haven't been, or if you want to, or you're curious about it, really, again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. But as someone who takes vitamin D, 50,000 IU of it every day for the last week, it's been amazing. I really think this is helping. It might not be the cure, and I'm probably still going to be depressed and have a lot of those struggles that I've had before. But if this is how I feel a majority of the time, and I feel so much better and I feel so much more alive and like I can get stuff done and I can actually get through life without thinking maybe I'm not going to make it. Like I'm going to put effort into this. I'm going to put effort into making this a part of my daily routine. And I don't know, it feels really good. So I'm going to hopefully try to update you guys on the long-term effects of it. But I don't know, I really do think it works. It has dramatically improved my life this last week. And I really do feel like it will do something for me long term. So, I don't know. Guys, take your vitamin D. I'm so serious. Whether you go out in the sun or not, I think you should be taking vitamin D. It has been helping me. Oh my God. God bless. But anyway, girl, now let's get into the meat. Let's get into the heart of the topic. But first, I'm going to take a piss break. Okay, hi guys. This is the third time I've recorded I need to stop moving. I have to do it again. Hi guys. Fuck. Hello everyone. This is about my fifth time trying to record this green screen thing. I'm not good at green screening it. I'm not. And it's reflecting. God damn it! I'm gonna face it towards me. You're gonna see my lovely phone case. Forgot what that was called. Hi everybody. How is it going? This is the intermission. So exciting, isn't it? I've been thinking about this idea for the last 5 days at least, and I have no idea what to film for this part. Just hoping that I can fill in these 40 or so seconds. Been yapping this whole entire video, and I have no idea what to say in the intermission. But I know what I want to ask. Oh, look, pretty lights. You guys doing okay? Actually, really, are you guys doing all right? Having a little heart to heart right now, just me and you, sitting here standing together. All right, that's it. Take care of you, silly little bugger. Subscribe. Love you. Okay. Hi guys. Took a brief intermission there. The sun is setting, so I put my lights on. Hence the lamp, as we talked about earlier. And yeah, we're gonna just continue on with part 2 of this little segment. And just get cozy. It's cozy nighttime vibes. So, okay. Sorry, I make myself laugh. I forget how good I feel when I be feeling good, so like, just let me do my thing. Let me relish in it a little bit. Yeah. Oh, what was I talking about? What was I about to say? Right. Now we're getting to the heart of it. Now we're getting into what I really wanted to talk about when I started this recording. Oh, pause. Guys, do you like my new glasses? Forgot to mention that earlier. I wanted somebody to gas me up because I love these new glasses. These are gonna be my glasses from now until death, bitch. Not going back to those ugly ass frames I used to have. Disgusting. So some of the epiphanies I was having earlier this week, before I had that cry on the train, were to do with other core beliefs, other really sad feelings I've had growing up, or for most of my life. Again, my memory is hazy, girl. So to tell you the start to end process of that, it's not coming to mind. But maybe it's not supposed to, and that's okay. What I want to touch upon is, like, I think the epiphany I had, I think literally the day before I went to the Mets game, I had me another cry. And it was about the fact that I had felt forgotten by the people I most loved. And that was is a feeling that I've hated. To feel forgotten by the people you care about most. It hurts so strongly. It hurts so bad. And it was something I was having to really deal with the other day. Having to really express and feel the depth of that grief. Because truly there's nothing you can do about it if it's another person, you know? I can't make people think about me. I can't make people make me a part of their lives or see me as a priority. Like, if that's who they are and that's what they choose to do, that is on them. That is separate from me. And so while I know all these things, it's sometimes really hard to deal with the reality of that. The reality being that sometimes I just feel really shitty and really sad that all the people that I love so much, that I would literally die for, it's like they don't even remember that I exist. And it's tough. I'm sitting here with a pretty straight face and I'm saying it to you like it doesn't really matter because I'm not in the middle of that emotion. I'm not really feeling it right now. And one of the things that I learned from that feeling, and what I've been learning in these past 2 or so weeks, is that even though these are really unpleasant feelings and these are really hard to sit with, they are their own form of information, their own form of knowledge. I had to feel what all of these things felt like so I know exactly what I do not want. I have had to feel what it is like to be forgotten by people that I've loved, because I know now that for a fact I never want to feel that way. I never want to feel that way. I was putting up with it almost and letting it slide, letting it go, because I cared so much for these people, and you know, I kept making excuses for them, and I was like, oh, okay, it's okay, like, I don't know, maybe for whatever reason it happens, right? But to be quite honest with you, all of that is a load of horseshit, really. People I love and people I want to be loved by would not forget me. And the people that I want to love me, I don't want them to forget me. And if you forget me in the process of that, like, I don't think we are meant for each other. I don't think I rock with you that way, and I don't think I want to rock with you. I don't want to be loved by people who forget me, who would think about forgetting me, who would even be okay with that, really. I don't want to. I know so strongly now that I don't want that feeling ever again. Ever again. I don't ever want to feel forgotten by somebody who claims to love me. And I'm not going to put up with it. From this moment forward, I am not going to put up with it anymore. I might still grieve over those past experiences and relive that feeling a little bit more just to process it and fully integrate it into my bank of experiential knowledge. But I know now, right here in the center of my heart, in the deepest parts of my gut, that I will not excuse it anymore. It's not something I want. It's not something I care about. People who love me will not forget about me. And a lot of those feelings are the exact same way. Sometimes the worst and hardest to go through feelings are ways to learn more about yourself. I know so much more of me now. Looking at it as a positive, I know that I don't like when people forget about me. I know that I don't like being around people who don't make me feel like I'm important enough to remember. I don't like being around people who don't make me feel remembered. I don't like being around people who don't make me feel appreciated and cherished and loved so much. In that way, I know that now. I know that I don't want to keep extending myself for people who aren't loving me the way I need to be loved, the way I want to be loved, to the fullest expression of love that I can receive. It's meaningful to me to have learned that about myself. An epiphany all on its own that I've learned as a result of going through all of this. That while I know most people who have treated me that way, who have forgotten about me, that there are also some people who truly cannot help it in a way, for whatever reason. For some strange reason, some people view love as a luxury. They view love as a luxury. They don't put it at the forefront of their mind. They don't make it a priority. They don't think it's a necessity in their lives. For some people, it really is just that love is something for leisure or times and spaces of relaxation or solace, that you have to kind of keep and confine it for those moments and those moments alone. Or that some people view it as like a hobby, something you splurge on every once in a while. It's not a priority for most people. And that took me a long time to see and understand. Because for me, I could not be further from the truth. Love is such a priority to me that I think about it and want to include it in everything that I do, that I just could not understand how some people literally don't mind or don't pay any mind to that. For some people, making money, getting food, keeping the bills paid, like that is all they think about. You know what I mean? I just don't know. For me, it's like if you are making money and you're getting food and you're keeping the bills paid, but you're not doing it because you're doing it for somebody that you love or because you love yourself, I just feel like that's very pointless to be doing all that and exerting that much energy if you're not including love in that equation. And there is a subclass of people who pay the bills and they're paying it because they love the people they're taking care of. But there is a disconnect there, you know? At some point, you view it more as a task as opposed to something you do for someone you love. I hope that makes sense. And so realizing that so many of the people that I have loved, and in a very loosely described way of expecting love from that other person. And when I say expect, really it's just about having the relationship be a two-way street, is that they're viewing it as like, this is a once in a blue moon type thing. This is a once every couple of months type of thing. My expression of love, my giving love to you is something I only ever do once in a while. It's not something I do every day, and it's not something I show you every day. And that's why it has been so easy for people to forget about me, forget to love me, forget to show what love looks like. Especially for those who have a very uncomfortable, unusual relationship to love, that they don't feel very comfortable expressing it or feeling it, even receiving it, that it is easier to understand love as something that you only reserve for very special occasions or moments in your life. You don't do it all the time, you don't do it always, you don't feel it always. It's almost too much of a task, too much of a burden to hold someone to that standard in their eyes, from my opinion, if that makes sense. And so that's something that I learned recently after going through these hard to feel emotions. It was very eye-opening to see that and understand that about the world, or the world that I exist in, and about the people that I have spent most of my life around. And so while I can understand that from a bird's eye view, I don't want to accept that form of love. That may be them trying their best, that may be them doing their most, I don't know. I don't want to excuse it as that anymore, because that's not what love looks like to me. Love to me is a day in and day out thing, something you do every day, or something you work hard for, something you give to and express every single day, or as much as you possibly can. It is not just a luxury to me. It is not something I will splurge on after building and saving up for months at a time. It is not something I will do on a whim to celebrate an occasion. It is something I do and want and feel for myself every single day. And that is what I want to feel for the people I want in my life every single day. You know, life is busy, life is hard, and there is so much shit going on these days that it is hard to carve out time, or it is hard to know what to prioritize in this crazy mess of a world. But I know that I only want to prioritize people who prioritize love. Because if you prioritize love in whatever relationship you have with me, that means you're prioritizing me, because that's how you feel about me. And that anybody I want in my life going forward is not going to forget about me. They are going to prioritize me because they prioritize loving and expressing love. And I will never feel forgotten because of that. That I will finally find and be around people who remember me. Because I feel like being remembered really is like the highest form of being loved, in a way. To think of someone and only feel fond thoughts, or to think of someone and be like, hey, I think they would appreciate this thing that I saw in the store the other day, or I think they would really like it if I went out and did something for them, or if I send them a little text, if I gave them an extra hug, something like that, you know? There are 5 love languages, maybe more that I don't know about, but I feel like being remembered and remembrance is part of every single one of them. It shows that you care. I don't know how else you can really show someone that you care other than to remember them, other than to think about them, to express how you feel about them when they are on your mind. Loving is done from the heart, you know? And it's one thing to say that many people may have me in their hearts, and that they're trying and they're, you know, going through shit and, you know, healing and learning and loving looks different for everyone. But my experience with it lately is not something I want to keep experiencing. I know what love looks like for me, and I know how I want it to feel. And I do not want to feel forgotten. Love is more than just a luxury to me. It is a necessity. It is an everyday thing. It is something I just live and breathe. Something I just have to do. And I only learned that because I learned the opposite of that, the antithesis to that. That I know what it is like to not be loved. But I can now more fully experience and express how it is that I do want to be loved and how I want to love others. And that is so beautiful and profound to me. And I'm grateful for that revelation in my life. Another thing I want to talk about in this episode is that for a little bit now, I've had this idea for like a couple of years at least of feeling like I am, or I have to be everyone's everything. I've had some time to really think about and reflect on this idea, and I've been trying to speak about it in a way where I can really try to convey how I really feel about it. And I feel like it ties in to my lessons of love and learning what love is not and what love is for me. And realizing that for most of my life, I have felt like everyone's everything, and that I've had to play a really big part in being other people's happiness, being the person that lights up the room, being the life of the party for other people, to try to create relief in hard times. Just try to put a smile on someone else's face, because I know what the hard times are like. And that was really a big burden on me for a really long time, because I felt so much pressure to make sure that I could keep everything stable and make everyone happy. And so as I've been stepping away from that responsibility and allowing myself to really figure out who I am and what I want for my life and for myself, I've realized that this feeling of being forgotten by people that I love was an excuse I was making to maintain this role of being everyone's everything. In a lot of ways, I had stepped back from that, and I had been trying really hard to stand up for myself and to hold space for a lot of these uncomfortable emotions and allow myself to feel anger, sadness, rage, grief, especially in a lot of these relationships with a lot of the people who have claimed to love me. I was excusing this behavior that to me was pretty much unacceptable as a way to maintain this status quo and this identity I had as being everyone's everything. This epiphany was about realizing that I really can't be everyone's everything. Not if it requires me to self-sacrifice and compromise in a lot of these values that I hold near and dear to my heart. Coincidentally, because I don't even use coincidence. There's no coincidence for me. It is fate. It is destiny. It is it's kismet. I want to just tell you right now. Kismet, stop fucking saying it that way, okay? I know I said before on this channel that words are words and whatever the fuck. Technically, in that context, I meant it in a different way, but I'm talking about the pronunciation of words this time, okay? And while you can say kismet, no one's gonna kill you, do whatever you want, it's weird. It's because it's the whitewashing of words, and I don't like it when you whitewash words. Stop. Say it the fucking way you're supposed to say it. Like, for example, Chipotle. Is that how Hispanic people say it? Let's be real. Chipotle. I'm gonna cut that out. Fuck no. Like, there are certain words that come from different languages, different ethnicities, that need to be said the way those native speakers say it, okay? And kismet is not how anybody fucking says it. It is kismet. Please, be serious. Anyway, it is fate, it is destiny, it is providence to have had everything unfold the way it has this week. But today, as I was thinking about this topic, because I knew I wanted to make a video on it, I recalled that one of my favorite YouTubers, Maddie, had made a video on this a couple months before. And I knew when she came out with it, I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy, girl. I was literally thinking about this idea. It's crazy how she, collective consciousness, she literally was like, I'll put out a video on it, girl. I got you. And I love that, because I feel like there's, in not like a really unhinged parasocial sort of way where it's like, oh my god, I really know Maddie. Like, we're like this. Like, I feel like she's connected to my soul. Like, not in the fucking, unhinged, I need to touch grass way, And it's not even to make fun of those people, because they just really need a lot of help, okay? They need to be loved, okay? I'm serious. We have to do something about that, but that's a different topic. But also acknowledging the parasociality? But also acknowledging the parasocialness, the parasociality, whichever one of those nouns is the correct way to say it, but also acknowledging the parasocialness of it, that like I don't really know Maddie on a level like that, but I feel like very connected to her in a lot of different ways. There are a lot of things she's been talking about for some time now through a lot of her YouTube videos that I'm like, Maddie, girl, we're right there. We're right there. We see eye to eye on this shit that I like love, that I didn't know I could relate to and connect with someone on the internet and someone who was geographically very close in proximity to me. So I don't know. Life is crazy like that. The miracles are miracling. Love that for us. So I just love that, like, I feel sort of in tune with her on a very, very like universal, we are all one type of feeling, which I love. But she had this video come out where she talks about things like her bisexuality and being everything to everyone, that I'd been saving for some time because I wanted to open it and watch it when the time was right. And lo and behold, the time was right, baby. Divine timing. Divine freaking timing. Love her. God bless. She also talked about how she watched the movie Poor Things, like around the time she was making that video. Girl, I have been wanting to watch Poor Things again for some time now. For literally like, I think the last 2 or 3 months. But I think back in July I was like, I'm gonna watch Poor Things again. I love that movie. And I was thinking about doing it again. I was like, it's gonna come up. And lo and behold, I watched this video, divine timing, and she's watched Poor Things. And I'm like, you know what? That's my sign. I'm gonna go watch it again. And so I'm gonna make it a priority to watch it in the next couple of days. Slay. I love divine timing. In that video too, she talked about how she was also in a very in-between stage of her life. Very form-fitting, dog. I've been talking about how I feel like I'm in a very in-between stage of my life right now. I love it. I love the synchronicities. I can't tell you how much I love them when they line up for me in my life and I see them and everything plays out and God plays a hand in this beauty. She is so divine. God bless her. I love her so much. I love the universe. I love all my angels. I love everybody up above. They are watching down on me. They're blessing me. God bless them. Love being connected to my spirituality, to my own spirit, my own divinity. Makes me so happy. But I love that, like, that's where I was and that's what came to me. Like, I needed to hear that. I really did. It really worked out in perfect divine timing and perfect divine flow, and I love that. And so I watched her video today and she made a really good point that I feel like is really worth noting.
And that was sort of a part of Bella's character that struck me, is how like brilliant she sees and experiences herself. She is not constantly giving herself and sacrificing herself to other people in the way that women are really taught to. And sometimes I wonder how much of what I give to other people is because I want to give, or if it's because there's a part of me that believes I must give in order to be loved.
She brings up these good points where she's like, I've given away so much of myself that I want to be able to rediscover those parts of me. I feel like I agree with that. Like, I feel like there has been so much of me that I have given to other people because I've loved them, or because I would do something like that for someone I've loved, you know? Whether or not it's to make their day or to help them out or to, you know, I don't know, get them through a tough break in their life. Like, I've given so much of myself that I sometimes feel like I've lost a lot of me. This might be the part where we differ in opinion for a little bit. I'm not saying that's something she said. This is purely just my feeling on it now, that I feel like sometimes it's something that I've lost, you know? Sometimes I feel like I regret the times and the places and the spaces where I have given so much of myself away to people. That almost like I'm coming back to myself, and I'm relearning things about myself, and I'm relearning what I like and dislike, and what I love, what I don't love, and what I want, what I don't want. Another point she brought up was how sometimes she feels like she wants to be loved without having to be asked to give it back, almost. And I feel like I agree with that line of thinking too. Like, I feel like right now I'm in a place where I have spent a lot of my time, spent a lot of my energy giving so much of myself away to people in hopes of being loved, or just because that is who I am and that is what I would do, that there is a part of me now that just wants to focus on replenishing myself and spending my energy and my time pouring back into myself and learning things about myself, all the ways and all the things that I gave away, and to now just be loved in the way that I want to or need to, or the standard of love that I really hold to and for myself, without feeling like I have to give everything of myself away to everyone. There was a time and place, a moment of life where I was everyone's everything, or I tried really hard to be. Whether they needed it, or could see that they needed it, or asked for it, or whether or not it was almost required of me at one point or another. I feel like I'm just moving on from that phase, from that chapter of my life. It's not to say that I stop loving or change who I am, almost. But I don't want to be everyone's everything, especially to people who forget me like it's nothing. Okay, guys, I think that's everything for this week. A long video, but I loved it. I had a lot of fun. I had a really good time making this one. I hope editor Ricardo can say the same, girl, cause I know that editing be kicking her ass, but it's all good. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you guys did too. If you watched the whole thing, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you watched my other videos and you just like me, you like what I do, you like hearing me talk, I really appreciate it, everyone. I just feel grateful for getting to feel good and comfortable sharing myself on this online space and getting to become more of myself. So much of me may have been lost, but it feels so good to get to reclaim that. Redemption is a strength like no other. And I love that for me. Just a lot of good things in 1 week. And I have a lot to be thankful for, and I have a lot of people up there to thank. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love you guys so much. Be kind to yourself. It is hard out there. I'm gonna do the outro. Let's do the outro. And don't forget, don't just feel blue. Don't just feel gray. Remember, there's a whole world of color out there to experience, and you are a star on every spectrum. Bye, guys. See you in the next one.